Welcome to the June 7th, 2016 Bothell City Council regular meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All council members are present. Special presentation, we have a presentation of Meek Playground equipment at Blythe Park. Director Keats.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just real brief presentation. Park crew recently got done installing some new playground equipment at Blythe Park, and during the renovation we put a plaque in there actually dedicating the project and the play equipment to Clark Meek over there for his 37 years of service to the city. But anyway, just a little background first. Why the project was initiated. Was in the mix for asset replacement. The old play equipment was about 15 years old. Also, the site had some drainage issues, and there was a hazard tree there that we knew needed to be removed. So it really was a little bit more than just a playground equipment project. So when we started, worked with Barbara Ramey to develop a public outreach strategy, and what we were able to do was put up a few model playground equipment examples and give the public a chance to weigh in on what they like the most, and we were able to use those results to go to a playground business that specialized in playground equipment to develop something that was consistent with what the public was telling us. And what we learned was a real big desire to keep or add swings. ADA access was a big issue. And again, we just went with the rest of the play equipment with the preferences from the 5 sample play structures that were on the website. And we ended up getting well over 250 respondents, which was good. So. So the staff from the parks maintenance crew did the installation. They got assistance from a professional installer. The installer functioned more as an advisor, just kind of guiding them through the process. And as I mentioned before, the new project included new drainage, hazard tree, the new border around the play equipment, and access entry tiles, and of course the play equipment. And now just a few pictures showing the process. That's Glenn putting in the drainage. We did have some weather issues a few times during the process that put us a little behind, but it did get finished in April. Another shot of mechanized equipment and working on the project. And next is we're about halfway done there, where they're propping up the play equipment and putting on the border. And those are the new swings that went in. Notice to the left, we kept the ADA access pads for those with disabilities. And so the swings were a big high priority item of everybody who responded to the survey. Side shot of some of the new play equipment with multiple features in there, slides, climbing apparatus, so on and so forth. And another shot used the type of fall material in there. It's kind of like sawdust, only it is ADA approved. Climbing wall in the foreground there, and a couple slides, more information or more amenities. So felt we got a pretty good bang for our buck with all the play equipment that went in, and that's about it so far. It's been pretty popular and has added actually to our reservations up at the park for the picnic shelters actually. So anyway, so, and again, in dedication to Mr. Clark Meek.
Great, thank you. Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the council? Councilman Agnew.
Well, I just want to excuse me. I just want to tell you that my almost 4-year-old granddaughter loves the new equipment. And the swings, we put the twins in that are just turned a year the other day, put them in one of the swings, one front and one back, and they had a great time. And the comments I heard from the public was all very, very positive. So nice job.
Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Councilmember Sandberg?
I feel like we should stand and recognize Clark Meek for all of his good work with the city for years.
Sounds good. Let's have a round of applause for Clark Meek. Thank you. Oh, you're done with the floor? Any other comments? Councilmember Spivey?
Great, thank you. Clark, thank you for your service. I had the pleasure to serve with you as a volunteer firefighter here in town, and I enjoyed our time there, and I always enjoyed chatting with you and seeing you here around town also. So thank you for your service.
Anybody else? Deputy Mayor?
I had the pleasure of being at Clark's retirement party, and I can tell you he is really missed. There were so many wonderful stories about him. I felt like I got to know him better. It made me sad that he retired, but just really, really happy to have known you. Thanks.
Anybody else? I'd just like to echo the same thing, Clark. I've heard so much about you. I hardly have worked with you, but it was all the things that you know about where things are, where the bodies are buried, where we needed to make ends meet, that type of thing. You've really helped hold the city together. So thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. And it's great that that park was placard after you. It's appropriate and great. My 6-year-old also gives the new park equipment a vote of approval. He really enjoyed it this weekend. So thank you, Director. Let's see, upcoming public engagement opportunities. Maybe. 1 second. We could skip it if you want. There they are. Okay. So upcoming public engagement opportunities, we have the Safe Streets and Sidewalks ballot measure presentation at Pi Day on June 14th at 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the North Shore Senior Center. Also, community meeting master plan for East Norway Hill Park, June 15th, 7 p.m. at East Norway Hill Park. Capital Facilities Plan Open House and Ice Cream Social number 2 on June 15th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. here at Town Hall at the City Hall. The Waste Mobile will be in town from June 24th through the 26th, and they're taking materials from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Seattle Times building. And the last one is Safe Streets and Sidewalk ballot measure presentation, June 23rd, 7:30 a.m. Bothell Chamber of Commerce, at the North Shore Senior Center. Okay, now we're on to meeting, meeting agenda approval. Is there any changes to tonight's agenda? Councilmember Sandberg?
We have 15 minutes scheduled for the TIP study session, and I was hoping we could add potentially 30 minutes to that.
Okay,
I
is
don't know-
everybody,
Yeah, I don't know if we'll need the whole time, but
okay, is anybody opposed to that? Nope, okay, 30 minutes have been added. Review of projected agenda, is there anything on the projected agenda? Deputy Mayor?
I would like to add a study session on our legislative agenda in September after attending the AWC Legislative Action Days and one of the seminars. It seems that it's to our benefit to jump on that earlier rather than later, and it seemed like it was a little late this year.
Do you have a specific day, meeting date in September?
I don't. I could make one up, or
Okay.
or staff could tell us where they think it fits in best.
Acting City Manager, is that reasonable to get us a
Do you
study
wanna-
session in September?
It is reasonable, and we'll figure out a date and get
Okay.
back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Deputy Mayor, anything else?
Nope,
Okay.
thank you.
Councilmember Spivey?
Great, thank you. I did miss a meeting or two, and we had rescheduled a discussion on parking enforcement, and I was here for that meeting that was rescheduled. I don't recall it it must have fallen off the table somewhere. So are we going to have a discussion on parking enforcement?
Acting City Manager, do you have that?
Yes, we will, and I believe it's on the projected agenda, but I'd ask Tom if you'd comment on that.
Yes, we have it scheduled on June 28th. Study session regarding downtown parking management.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Item number 9, the last item.
Great, thank you.
Anything else, Councilmember Spivey?
No, that's it.
Councilmember Sandberg?
We have scheduled for July 19th appointments of the pro and con committees for the fireworks advisory ballot measure and other potential ballot measures for the 2016 November election. I was wondering if we could move that up just a little bit. That would give people who are selected to those pro and con committees a little bit more time to prepare their statements in advance of the due date for the voters pamphlet. So is it possible to move it up to the July 12th meeting even?
Acting City Manager?
Or potentially the June 28th meeting?
Well, the July 12th meeting's a study session. June 28th. We could move it up to June 28th. I would ask, is there any other problems with doing that, Scott?
No, you just have to identify people to select before.
Between now and then? Yeah.
So
So
we-
it'll just be a question of shortening the time of finding people who are willing to serve on those committees.
And have we started any kind of outreach to that effect yet?
No, we have not.
Okay.
Well, actually, I would defer to the fire chief. No, okay.
Okay. Well, if it's not possible to move it up because we haven't had time to locate people, then I guess we'll just need to keep it at July 19th. And then I was wondering if, when looking at the projected agenda, I see we have several meetings for the Fitzgerald area. And do you think we're on track to adopting regulations prior to our August break based on the meetings you've had so far?
Adoption, probably not. We will have recommendations for the council that will identify areas of the code that are recommended for changes. We anticipate that there may be some changes also to the comprehensive plan coinciding with those regulatory changes. So it'll come back in September, October with the rest of the plan and code amendments. But most of the work, 90% of the work, should be finished before the August break.
Great, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. And so you're okay with leaving the selecting people for the pro and con committees where it is because we haven't publicly advertised the
If
positions?
If we are able to identify people earlier, I would like to move it to the June 28th meeting, but if that's not possible, then I'm okay with keeping it at on July 19th.
You got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for the projected agenda? Nope, moving along. Okay, consent agenda. No items have been pulled, so a motion to be ordered.
Second.
The motion by Councilmember Spivey, second by Councilmember Agnew. Discussion on the motion? I just want to say one thing really quick, that one of the items on the agenda is it's called a grant of regional or statewide significance, and just because I work in that arena, I know how hard those grants are to get, and they are significant to the statewide objectives of trying to have clean water and manage stormwater. So I just wanted to thank staff for being able to pull that down and being able to perform regionally or statewide on the behalf of the city. So that's it. So go ahead, place your vote. There we go. Passes unanimously, 7 council members. So now we're on to the visitor section, and I'm going to read out of the protocol manual just so I get this correct. Each person addressing the council will give his or her name in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless the council grants further time, shall limit the address to 3 minutes. All remarks will be addressed to the council as a body and not to any member thereof. No person other than the council and the person having the floor will be permitted to enter into any discussion, either directly or through a member of the council without the permission of the mayor. So the first person is, there we go. Councilmember Spivey. I guess, Councilmember Spivey, you have to publicly say you're going to give public comment as a citizen and taking your hat off as a council member. And you can do it from down there, it's fine.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Dallas Spivey, and I'm here as a citizen of Bothell. I find myself here in a very difficult position that I wish I wasn't in, but my conscience and the oath that require me to be here before you at this time. We have all heard the need to be transparent recently, and that is why I'm here tonight. Through information that I have learned personally, there has been a violation of the Bothell Protocol Manual and Washington state law. That, coupled with the upcoming appointment of an interim city manager, I have filed an ethics complaint with the city clerk today. As a result of this filing, I am asking the council to postpone the selection of the interim city manager or to remove the candidate who was approached in violation of the council protocol manual and state law. This action that I have taken is about transparency and playing by the rules. I want to thank you all for your hard work and allowing me the time to come before you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Al Feigenbaum. Did I get it correct this time?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hi guys, your favorite curmudgeon is back. I got the bridge in the mail yesterday, and I read this little story in there about helping us come up with an idea how we're going to use the Wayne Golf Course property. And I'm just confused. I need somebody to explain to me how you could go about spending how many millions of dollars buying property and you don't have a clue what you're going to do with it. Explain that to me.
I could direct you to the Parks Director. We don't typically engage in conversations with residents.
Parks Director didn't buy the property. Come on now, you guys did. I don't know whether you or some other council, I mean, there had to be a reason for buying the Wayne Golf Course property without knowing what you're going to do with it. You spent our tax dollars on, for what? Are you impulse buyers or shoppers or what? I'm just totally confused. I seriously am. I don't have any opinion about the purchase. I don't know why you would buy something without knowing how you're going to use it. Anybody here know that? I'm just asking for a simple explanation. How did that come about? I'm not blaming you guys because I don't know who bought it and when it was. But somebody must know what went on.
So, Mr. Feigenbaum, if you gave me your phone number, I'd be happy to call you and discuss it with you.
Okay, I'll give it to her in a minute.
Okay. You still have time. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I had one other issue that I wrote down on the intersection of 180th and 132nd, which is the intersection just before you go over 522 down at the Woodinville under the railroad overpass. That's a horrible intersection there because of the way the traffic is controlled. And I've gone through the intersection many, many times, and it takes forever at times to get through there. Why? Because the light on the freeway, right on the overpass there before, just south of the 180th, 132nd intersection, where the traffic goes on the freeway and traffic comes off, is so badly controlled. If I've sat there in front of that light trying to go into Woodinville and seen no cars coming up from Woodinville wanting to turn onto 522 to go west or to go straight ahead north on 180th, and yet the light is still red with a green arrow going onto the freeway. And that is one of the problems that's causing the issue. The other issue is that traffic backs up down 132nd because of the light on 180th being red for people trying to go into Woodinville for such a long period of time when there's no traffic coming. So there's a deficiency in the radar control of that light, number one. And what would help would be if you had radar control looking down 132nd to see how much of a backup there is, because sometimes there's almost a quarter of a mile. And so I hope somebody would look at the way that traffic is controlled, because the traffic light is way too long for west turning traffic going on to 522 from Woodinville, and everybody else is sitting.
Thank you for your comments. So the Public Works Director is right over here, and we have looked at that signal, and there's quite a backstory to it, and she'd be happy to, if you get her phone number, or she gets your phone number, I can give her your phone number when you give it to me, and we'll have them contact you and discuss it, okay?
Mayor, can I,
Councilmember Sandberg.
could I just respond? Because if Mr. Feigenbaum has those questions, maybe other members of the community have questions about the golf course. And I mean, there's a couple of things that might be a misunderstanding. First of all, the city has not purchased the Wayne Golf Course. A private nonprofit has purchased it. Their name is Forterra. And so as it stands, the city did not make the choice or spend money to buy the golf course. This private nonprofit has purchased it as a backstop measure so that the city of Bothell and or King County could find time to raise money, public money, or to find grants, which is still public money, to purchase that property. And so the reason why, at least from my understanding, is that we don't have a particular purpose, an intended purpose in mind as yet, is because there are so many people in the community who have a different vision for what could happen on that property. And there's already been at least one visioning community meeting, and people want everything from it being completely a nature preserve with some hiking trails through it to maintaining it as an active golf course. And so it's not that we don't know what we want to do with it in the eventuality that we could raise the money to purchase it. It's that we need to make sure we understand to the best that we can what the community is going to support. Because if the community doesn't support a vision for that, then they're not going to support spending taxpayers' dollars to purchase it eventually, because we don't own it. It's owned by Forterra, and if we can't come up with the money in 3 years, then Forterra has every right to sell it to another entity.
Okay, that leads to the next question.
Sir.
Does the city need the property for anything?
Mr. Feigenbaum, so we don't do back and forth conversations with the public at the public comment period, but you're more than welcome to contact us individually, and we can give you our input. And all right, thank you, Councilmember Freed.
Great, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your questioning. We do have a memorandum of understanding before us today between King County and the city of Bothell that states that in number 2, the city of Bothell will pursue acquisition of fee ownership of the back 9, and number 4, pursue acquisition of the front 9 of the Wayne Golf Course. So potentially, rather than vote on this tonight, maybe we should have a public process that would open it up to invite public to come before we are making a memorandum that the city is moving forward to purchase. So something that might be considered, but thank you so much for bringing it to light tonight, your concerns.
Okay, with that, is there any other comments on that? Okay.
A question. So if there was, I mean, that memorandum of understanding, which is not a legally binding document, was noticed. So it's considered new business. So if there was someone in the audience who wanted to speak on that, now would be the time to talk about it in our visitor comment section.
And we got it from him. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Executive session for personnel matters pursuant to RCW 4230-110 with possible action afterwards. It's scheduled for.
Is there nobody in the audience?
That was it. I'm sorry. Was there anybody else that wanted to comment? I don't have any more sign-up sheets. Nope. It's 30 minutes adequate time city attorney and acting city manager?
30 minutes is enough time, but we're still waiting for our attorney to show up. She's going to be here at 6:30. And we do have one property thing to talk about too, if you are amenable to that.
The only problem is it's not listed for the executive session. Are we okay with that, city attorney? It wasn't noticed that way.
As the council can consider anything that comes before it, and it can call the executive session tonight for an item other than what's listed on the agenda. So all you have to do is add it to your notice right now that that's one of the topics that you'll be discussing. And it'll be
And do we
fine.
need a vote of the council to do that, or
No,
we just do it from a, does anybody object to adding to the executive session a property acquisition discussion? Councilmember Freed.
I don't have an objection. I think the objection would come if action came after, and I don't think we're expecting action.
Nope. Okay. So we'll go to an executive session for 35 minutes then. I hope she gets here on time.
That'll work.
Okay. We'll be back at 7 p.m.